Today we're going to learn how to write a summary. So this is for 6th grade and we're doing the main idea supported by key details lesson. So what is the main idea? The main idea is the central topic of the content. So for the Reading A to Z book titled The Case of the Disappearing Honeybees, the main idea is honeybees and why they're disappearing. So you just have to kind of think, what is the central topic? What is that book or that story going to be telling you all about? So another example is the story of Cinderella. The main idea is about a girl whose stepmother doesn't give her the same opportunity as her stepsisters, and she's determined to go to a ball. So it's the central idea, it's the main idea, it's what the whole story is all about. So the main idea is what the story is actually all about, what the one thing that every different section has in common. What is it talking about? What are key details? Key details are details taken from the text that support the main idea. So, a key detail from Cinderella is that her parents both died and she was left in the care of her stepmother. So, that supports the main idea that her stepmother is taking care of her and not giving her the same opportunities as her stepsisters. And then, a key detail from the case of the disappearing honeybees is that without honeybees to pollinate crops and plants, many species would die. And that supports it because honeybees are disappearing, and we want to give more information into why that would be bad. So let's move on to how to actually write a summary. First, you need to read a book, article, or literature that you plan to summarize. You need to go ahead and read it. I know that you guys don't really want to, and you want to skim through it, but reading it is really going to help you. Next, you need to identify the main idea or central topic of the text. Then, you need to find several supporting key details in the text. And finally, you need to put it all in order so that it makes sense and paraphrase, which means you write it in your own words and you do not copy it, and you do this to all the content that you have gathered, all the evidence and the main idea. So that could be kind of confusing, so we're going to do an example together. So if you're watching this and you are in my class, you are in luck. I am going to do the example with the book we're working with this week, so you get a free summary. So first you want to read the section. So the way we do it in our classroom is we get a Reading A to Z book, and it usually has like 6 to 8 different sections about the same topic. So this book is about disappearing honeybees, and this is the first section. It's called Who Took My Strawberries? Think of your favorite fruit. Now imagine a world in which that fruit or any other fruit or many nuts, vegetables, or flowers is extremely rare. Without honeybees to pollinate the flowers of these plants, our diets would be very bland and boring. In fact, 1 in 3 bites of the food you eat is thanks to honeybees. Yet, honeybees are vanishing around the world, and the reasons have puzzled scientists for a long time. Scientists have evidence, however, that the disappearance might have everything to do with humans. So, the main idea is disappearing honeybees. So, it's kind of hard to find it in this section because it's like the section title is about strawberries and you're confused, and then you see the word pollinate is bolded. When you read through the whole thing, the main idea is that honeybees are disappearing, and this is going to be important. So that's how I picked out my main idea. So my first key detail is without bees, fruits, nuts, and vegetables and flowers would be rare. My next key detail I found were pollination is important to plant growth. So you see I'm just picking out things that they're not complete sentences, but they are enough. There's a lot of detail in my key details. Honeybees pollinate so much that 1 in 3 bites we take are because of honeybees, which seemed very important to me when I read it. It stood out to me. I was like, ooh, that seems like a very important detail to add. The next one is honeybees are important to many species, but they are disappearing because that is supporting the main idea. It is in the text. And the last thing I wanted to add was scientists think that humans might be the cause of disappearing honeybees. So you might be thinking, what do I do with this now that I have this? I have 5 key details in a main idea. So you're going to go on and you're going to look at that when you're writing, and you're going to think, how can I put this together? How can I order it? What do I do? So you always kind of want to start with your main idea. You want to introduce your main idea and your first key detail. So I did my paragraph, which I'm going to show you. And you see, I remember to indent, which is very important, and start with a capital. Honeybees all over the world are disappearing. So that's my main idea. I'm introducing it to the reader, and I'm writing it as if somebody had not read this section before. This is important because without honeybees, fruits, nuts, vegetables, and flowers would become rare items. Plants rely on bees to pollinate them to help them keep growing. Honeybees pollinate so much that every 1 in 3 bites we take are because of honeybees. Many different species rely on honeybees, but honeybees are beginning to disappear. Scientists think that humans might be the cause of disappearing honeybees. So it was a very simple paragraph. It was to the point. I just paraphrased what I read and supported it with key details. That's all you have to do when you summarize something. So, things to remember. When writing a summary, you must include the main idea and support it with key details. You have to only talk about whatever it is you're summarizing. You don't want to put any of your thoughts or your personal opinions in it. You just are summarizing the information. You want to write your summary as if you were writing it for someone who had never read what you read but needed to know the important parts of it. And you need to have good full sentences to include many key details in, because you might have longer sections. That was a very short section, so it was very easy to write a paragraph on that. But you might have a section that's 2 or 3 pages long, or you might have a story that's really long. So each sentence needs to be a very full sentence so you can include more and more details in it. Have fun summarizing.